The 2019 YNZR Graphics Unreal Tour season is finally coming to an end. After over 6 months of incredible racing starting all the way back in April, we finally conclude the season in the beginning of November here at Homestead Miami Speedway in Homestead, Florida. Welcome to Sim TV. My name is Kyle Heyer, joined tonight by Finian Nakuna. And Finian, the YNZR Graphics Unreal Tour all season long has put on some great racing. Now, car counts have fallen a little bit, but we still have one more race left to do. The championship is all but decided. Matt Gruenberg in the number 54 has essentially locked down the championship. He's done, champion for 2019, but still some other drivers here and there trying to pick up some points positions in one final 117 lap race.
Yeah, indeed. And, like you said, Gruenberg doesn't have anything to worry about. Just has to really he didn't even have to actually show up to this race, but he's still here tonight. I imagine for him it's going to be to try to get another win, make the win column go from 7 to 8.
Absolutely. So looking down at this 1.5 mile speedway, it's a challenge left and right in all four quarters of this racetrack, Finian. Very, very wide. Progressive banking, 18 degrees on the bottom, 20 degrees on the high side. We're going to see drivers searching all over the racetrack for grip this evening. On the bottom in 1 and 2 might work a little bit better, but 3 and 4, it looks like it's a symmetrical racetrack, Finian, but it certainly is not.
Yeah, and it definitely drives like that 1 and 2 drive a lot more different than 3 and 4. We're going to see guys get pretty tight coming out of turn 4 in comparison to turn 2.
Yeah, it seems like in the bottom of turns 3 and 4, the banking kind of flattens out a little bit quicker than it does in 1 and 2. So I would not be surprised to see people primarily using turns 3 and 4 up in the high lane. Turns 1 and 2 might be where you send the car down the inside to try to gather some grip to get by people. We saw just the other night in the Outsider Racing League how difficult it was to make passes in the Cup cars, but these trucks drive a lot differently than the Cup cars do. We're going to see people ripping the Larson line up by the fence, and a lot of other people right on the bottom of the white line here at Homestead Miami Speedway. 1.5 miles of oval racetrack. Robert Hill Jr. in the 38 with a new team, a new sponsor this week, Spark VR, on this vehicle, and currently sitting first on top of the board right now as he starts his qualifying effort.
Yeah, and was doing double duty tonight. Was running in the IndyCar race that we were broadcasting earlier, the MyLaps Indy Elite Series, just before at Richmond. And is going to be here starting, and the Truck Series at Homestead here tonight currently is on pole, though a few drivers are put a time down.
Yeah, Corey Lindsay, the 00, is on track as well. On the left-hand side of the screen, the tower ticker, all the drivers with blue numbers. The light blue numbers, that is. Those are your playoff contenders here tonight.
Yeah, and the interesting thing, too, is an interesting little fact. Corey Lindsay and Matt Gruenberg were the only drivers to start every single race of the truck season.
Yeah, so again, we've had a little bit of fall off in participation towards the end of the season, but that doesn't mean this isn't going to be a good race. 117 laps. There's still a lot of drivers in for. I think this is going to make this even more exciting because there's not a championship on the line. That's been decided already. Everyone's just trying to get one final victory to round out the end of the season, and I think that's going to make it as good as if it were a championship contention race. So Chuck Sweeting jumps to the top of the board, knocks Robert Hill off. Corey Lindsay comes on through for 5th. Justin Kolb in the 25 is working his way around the course. Right on board with them here.
This is kind of become a rare sight now. The guys running up towards the wall in the Cup Series, they're doing nothing like that, running more to the lower to midline, but these guys still ripping that high line. I think this is going to be one of the more fun races between the three that we've done so far.
Yeah, the Cup cars certainly had higher corner speeds the other night when we did them with the Outsider Racing League, but the straightaway speed's almost the same. You see a lot more slipping and sliding for Justin Kolb as he comes across the line. We will do this racetrack again tomorrow night with the Race Kings Cup Series concluding their season, and that championship is far from decided. 3 drivers walking in all within 4 points of each other after a penalty assessed post-race to the number 56 of Tate Lytle last week after the late race contact at Richmond. So tomorrow night's event going to be coming down to the wire. Tonight, we're just going to race one final time for some fun. Kolb works his way around the course right now. And Cody McCorkle in the number 12, and not a playoff contender, has been so close to victory this season. He gets in the fence down in turn 1, and it grabs you here, Finney. You get into that safer barrier, you're going to lose more than one spot. And the champion, Matt Gruenberg, again, pretty sure he's already locked it up points-wise, so he should be good to go. But just here to get one final victory before the season is out. And qualifying is complete. He will not get a chance to run a lap here as we head down for our pace lap here. A relatively short race. This race will take about an hour from start to finish. We'll take a look at our starting grid here on the lineup here. Chuck Sweeting in the number 26 from Florida on the front row. Robert Hill Jr., a new team, Spark VR on that car. He's a playoff contender starting in 2nd.
And then moving on back to row number 2, Jordan McEvoy will be starting in 3rd from the Mid-South outside of him. Dave Humm with a good qualifying effort will be starting in 4th outside of him.
In row number 3, Justin Kolb in the number 25, Corey Lindsay in the 00. As you mentioned, the 00, one of very few drivers to start every single race this season, and this is the last one. And so Corey Lindsay will compete in all the events.
Yeah, back in 7th, you have your 2019 Truck Series champion Matt Gruenberg on the inside. Outside of him, Tate Lytle in the 56 will be starting in 8th.
Sam Close, the number 5, another playoff contender, starting in 9th alongside James Miller, another one-sim car in his number 42, coming off of a victory recently in the Truck Series at dirt tracks. He's going to start 10th.
And back in 11, you got Rusty Caple in the 9 on the inside lane. And outside of him, that's not correct. That is an admin, Tanner Sharp, for tonight.
So the 12th place starter should be Richard Hinds in the number 2 car, and he should be one of our last drivers here tonight. I think the last driver on the grid is going to be let's see who we're missing. We're missing one driver, Cody McCorkle, who'll be starting in 14th tonight, rather. As we get ready to go racing, a couple of drivers have yet to jump on the grid. That driver is Rusty Caple. But up front, Chuck Sweeting in this 26, on pole for tonight. This driver should have won so many races in so many different leagues this season, hasn't been able to finish out the season. The chances he goes to victory lane tonight in the final race of the year.
Honestly, I think it's pretty good. Again, just starting on pole, I think that's a good first step. Yeah, it has not been, I think, the best of years for Chuck Sweeting at 26. Probably should have had a couple more wins to his name this season. Gotten really close quite a few times, and I'm just talking across almost all the series that we cover. We've seen him race, has gotten very few. I think only one win so far. And again, hopefully he can change it around tonight. We saw him had a really good run at Rockingham in both series. This might be shaping up to be much of the same.
So take a look. This is the exit of turn number 2. We're right against that white line. The banking is 18 degrees. Right up at the top of the racetrack next to that ocean blue wall, that is 20 degrees. So more banking the higher you go. And that means that you're going to be able to carry a lot more speed as the night goes on. We're going to see where most of the drivers try to run, but I think we're going to see kind of a split strategy here early in the race. And I think we're going to see a lot of green flag running tonight as well. So Sweeting's going to lead the field off of the pit lane behind the pace truck or pace car. And we should be going green next time by 117 laps, 173 miles here at the Homestead Miami Speedway. It's been a long season. We've traversed all over the country. We've gone to dirt tracks, short tracks, super speedways, road courses. And now we're going to end our season where it all started, in the state of Florida. We started at Daytona earlier in the season. We're going to conclude it now in Miami. New team, new sponsor for the 38 of Robert Hill Jr. Can he propel it to victory in the last race of the season for the YNZR Graphics Unreal Tour? As we roll out of turn number 4. Chuck Sweeting, Robert Hill Jr. on the front row, waiting for the green flag, the last one of the season. Green flag flies and racing at Homestead. Down the back straightaway, Chuck Sweeting pulls clear of the 38 McEvoy in 3rd. Dave Hunt into 4th in the 53. Could this be his chance to get a victory before the season? As out Richard Hinds under attack already.
Yeah, under attack already. He's got Matt Gruenberg in behind him. You're trying to get on by Gruenberg working through the field. Hinds gave him a little bit of the lane. He's going to defend it, though, and Gruenberg's boxed in between Cove and Hinds in front of him.
Not necessarily a short race tonight, so I think drivers will be planning for the long run tonight. In the 56, Tate Lytle sliding up the racetrack. Here comes James Miller to the bottom of the track. And trying to work him over. Some mid-pack battles here as the 42 goes by the 56.
Now with the inside, Tate Lytle going way up the track. Not sure if he's trying to get out of the way or just trying to get a run here. And actually, it looks like Lytle's dropping to the back. He's back in 9th, 10th, and continuing to drop in the order into 11th. So Lytle getting out of the way for some other competitors.
Yeah, the playoff drivers are lit up in blue at the top of your screen. Blue numbers means playoff driver. And that also means drivers with the blue splitters and blue spoilers are your playoff contenders as well. Championship locked up. Looks like Darbyshire might have had a moment off of turn 2 there, but he collects it, stays off the fence.
Really, one of the bigger battles is going to be for second place in the points championship between Robert Hill Jr. and Richard Hinds. Robert Hill Jr. has got a 6-point lead over Hinds, and the way they're running, that gap's only going to expand. So Hill doing everything he needs to keep himself in second, but again, I imagine he's worried more about the win and chasing that 26 in front of him.
Already experimenting with different lanes. You see Robert Hill Jr. up a couple lanes from where Sweeting is running. Now through 3 and 4, I said earlier, we don't expect people to be on the bottom of the racetrack much, but look at them early. There's grip down here to be had, at least in the middle of the racetrack, and trying to keep your car kind of glued to the racetrack is challenging, but both of them kind of riding the middle as they come off a turn 4.
Yeah, and then a lot of these guys drifting, not letting the paint catch them on exit. So a big thing out of turn 4, though, you got to be careful late in the run and avoid getting to the wall, and we've seen quite a few people do that.
Sweeting leads the way. McEvoy sits third in the number 21, and it's where he started tonight in his one sim racing number 21 Chevrolet Silverado, and another playoff contender. And this is probably one of the most improved drivers of the course of the season, both on the Cup side and the truck side. He's come a long way from where the season started for him, and we're seeing a lot more of him each and every week. So really liking McEvoy's run this season, and looking forward to next season as well. Richard Hinds in number 2, also a driver I'd say has really picked it up this season. It is Ausin Designs number 2 Silverado. And gearing up, and now we're starting to see the field spread out a little bit. How much is the draft and the slipstream going to matter today?
I think it's going to matter a decent amount, at least as getting a little bit of a run into the corner. It's not going to be the end-all be-all, as we've seen in the Cup Series, where these guys get massive runs. But it definitely helps you give you some momentum into the corner, potentially make a move. Whoa,
Matt
Gruenberg a little
Gruenberg,
bit loose.
yeah, a bit slidey there. And again, all he's here for tonight is just to pick up another victory. He's essentially clinched the championship for 2019, and he'll be crowned at the end of this race. And Tate Lytle and Cody McCorkle side by side through 1. There's Sam Close on the outside lane. And Sam Close is a driver I would have expected more from this season. Really wasn't as competitive as I would have thought. Made it into the playoffs, but I would have thought he'd be racking up wins left and right after the successful last season campaign that he had.
Nearly 5th in the points behind Ausin Darbyshire, so trying to pass him. He's only 1 position ahead of Darbyshire, and is 13 points back. Actually going to jump behind.
Yeah, he's slipped out of turn 4 and had to give a couple spots here. There's Miller, Dave Hunt, and Matt Gruenberg all together. This is for 4th.
Miller running the high lane up and towards the wall, already getting up there. Is Dave Hunt now trying to hold on Matt Gruenberg in the 54 and behind him.
Fighting unders here through the middle of 3 and 4. And the outside lane is going to come in later in this event. You see Dave Hunt now under attack from that 54 truck. Diving to the bottom of the racetrack. You mentioned earlier that the Cup cars really didn't get to experiment with different lanes a whole lot last night. Well, they're not going to get to experiment with it tomorrow night either, because it's the same package, just different drivers tomorrow. The trucks still let you drive them a little bit more.
Trying to get back on that Gruenberg. Gruenberg up into 5th place after I believe starting in 8th, 7th around there.
Started actually in 4th.
No, I'm talking about
Gruenberg?
Gruenberg, yeah.
Yeah, I started in 7th and is in 1 Sim 54, and Dave Hunt's going to fight back on the bottom down into turn 1. So 10 laps complete. We're seeing the field spread out a little bit. Going to be a long run race for sure. We didn't talk about pit road entry yet here, Finney. We're going to look on board from the 54. Off to your left, there's a light down there, right there, and then there is your pit road access entry. You have to run that to make it down to pit lane.
So you're going to have to put your left indicators on and get off the highway, essentially, to get down into pit road. And that's going to be tough. We're going to see some guys get caught out by that.
James Miller, a great looking purple truck this week. And trying to read the sponsor on the hood of that truck. Grandstand something or other.
Yeah.
Video? Grandstand Video on the side of that truck this week. A great looking truck. Whoever did the paint on that did a really nice job.
Yeah, all those ones of the trucks, honestly, just in general, they look really good.
Yeah, so here already we're seeing the bottom and the top kind of clashing here. And Miller is able to complete that pass. I think later in the race it's going to be challenging. A slip and a bobble for the 42.
Miller has been on it in these races. He's a really hard driver, and again, that kind of leads into him usually being one of the first drivers to wear off his stuff. So far he's continuing out, running that high line.
Yeah, Chuck Sweeting is just making hay out front right now. 1.6 seconds up the road from Robert Hill Jr. And then behind Robert Hill, there's a whole host of race cars. James Miller leading the pack, and there goes Matt Gruenberg to the bottom of the racetrack past McEvoy. McEvoy a little tight through 3 and 4. He's trying to roll that outside lane. I just don't think there's the grip up there yet to handle it. And so he's going to lose a spot here. And 54-21 fight off into turn 1.
Yeah, one sim, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Placed in the front of the field, and Gruenberg getting on by one of his teammates. Now going to set his sights on James Miller. You see Matt Gruenberg making a nice, easy run up to the front. And this is similar to what we saw in the truck race at Rockingham, with Chuck Sweeting up in the lead, Gruenberg coming back, chasing him down and passing him. But I think it's going to be a lot harder. I don't think Gruenberg is as dominant, although I did say that Rockingham was proven wrong.
Whoa, so Lytle sliding out of turn 4 into the grass on the front straightaway, slipping, sliding. He saves it, comes back on track, but this has been a struggle for this man so far today.
Yeah, that was a really wild ride.
Well, he walks in tomorrow night being one of the championship favorites, but here's a big moment out of turn 4 for him. And just gets up right behind the 53, just loses the nose and slides off into the grass. Does a nice job gathering it back up.
And interesting you say that too, because you know with that points penalty he's going to be tied with Gruenberg going into tomorrow night. So that's going to be a whole lot.
Oh no! James Miller going to slide through the grass on the front straight. He collects it as well.
Mirror image of what happened to Tate Lytle. Whoa, a little bit more violent of re-entry.
Yeah, turn 4 is going to be a trouble spot tonight. Already we can see drivers struggling with it.
Yeah, they're struggling. Track's looking really slick.
Yeah, let's take a look. We didn't even look at our conditions yet so far, but 112 degrees, pretty hot and toasty out there.
Yeah, that's explaining why these guys are sliding a lot out of turn 4. Just the way they're running it, too, is leading to these guys being much more loose than you would think, especially compared to turn 2.
Well, I mentioned earlier Sam Close. I was surprised at his pace this season, and in this race as well. I think this is a racetrack where talent's going to show right through. And for the 5, I'm, again, pretty surprised at how he's running. Started tonight in 9th place and has actually dropped the spot down to 10th. You can see he's struggling with understeer, trying to roll it outside lane to make up for it on the straights, but just not looking very solid right now.
Chuck Sweeting also 2.6 second lead.
Yeah, he's in a league of his own right now.
He's running last lap through alone. He ran 0.3 of a second faster than Robert Hill Jr. across the line. We'll see where that ends up. 34.1 for Chuck Sweeting and a 34.387, so almost about the same gap, a little bit over, or almost about 0.3 of a second.
Robert Hill Jr. under attack for 2nd place. That's the 54. Matt Gruenberg to his inside. And 2 of our championship contenders, and this might looked earlier a couple weeks ago as if the 38 might be able to mount a challenge on the 54, but Gruenberg just had such a dominant stranglehold on everybody else, just walked away in the last couple races. But now they're going to fight for 2nd on the racetrack, and we'll see if Robert Hill Jr. can hold them off. I'm thinking that 54 is a little quicker right now.
A little bit quicker. If anything, it's going to be a losing battle for the 38, but he's still trying, still giving an attempt. And Chuck Sweeting's hoping that they continue to fight, because now the gap's expanded to 3 seconds, but it looks like Gruenberg's just going to ike out ahead of the 38, and we'll see now how the pace is going to be for 54 with some clean air.
Dave Hunt and Tate Lytle, this is for 5th. And Lytle's collected himself after that slide out of turn 4, now moving his way back forward. It actually was one of the quickest trucks on the racetrack last time by, a 34.080, which was 0.2 quicker than our leader.
Yeah, it's still looking loose there. You can see him kind of fighting the truck throughout 3 and 4, so not completely stable, but still pretty fast, and I think that's going to help him gain a few more positions to keep it straight and on the track.
Nobody challenging Chuck Sweeting so far. Out front, he has led every single lap so far. And the average speed around here, 163.2 miles an hour. As Matt Gruenberg rolls in here, and Gruenberg's best lap is not quite as quick as the leader Chuck Sweeting, but I think over the course of this run, we might see him creep back in a little bit. But Robert Hill Jr. has not dropped very far off, so I don't think this battle's quite done yet.
These guys are actually, just speaking of drop-off, these guys are running a second and a half slower than their best laps.
That's a lot more than I would have thought this early in the race. And you mentioned the battle in the points for 2nd place, Richard Hinds and Robert Hill Jr. Well, Richard Hinds, I don't want to say struggling, but kind of going the wrong direction here now. He started 14th up to 7th, now lost a spot to the 53.
Yeah, the problem is when you look at the standings, is he should be running ahead of the 2 if he wants to make some inroads with the 38. Currently in 3rd, Hinds back in 7th.
Great looking truck. I always love these Ausin Designs cars, no matter what league or series they run in. And they're just so pretty looking with all the colors and the rainbow that the 2 car has on it this week. Gordon McEvoy in the 21 started 3rd, back to 4th. He's got Tate Lytle closing in, and Lytle again, as we mentioned earlier, competing for the Cup Championship tomorrow night in Race Kings Cup Series. Well, not in the playoffs, hasn't run a full season here in the 56, but I think he's running quick enough right now to be a contender at the end of this race, so let's let this thing play out. Maybe the 56 will have something to say by the end of the day.
You have to make quite a bit of time that needs to build a strategy. He's lost some time to the 50. On him here, he's not getting a run. Mounting a run on the 21, he'll have a look to the inside here in turn 1.
And they're actually closing in on Robert Hill Jr., so Lytle might be able to move his way up into a podium spot here shortly, 22 laps in.
Yeah, Robert Hill, really, I think he's worn out his tires quite a bit. And he's just trying to run the high lane. You see Lytle get a little bit loose, almost into the 38.
They tuck back in line, get a bit of a slipstream on the back straightaway into turn 3. You see Spark VR again. And what they are, for those that don't know, who aren't familiar with the Indy Elite Series, where Spark VR has an immense presence, is that they're basically a virtual reality cafe. You can go there and you don't have to have all the equipment to run VR. You can just go there and enjoy yourself. I think it's a really cool idea. I wish I'd thought of it. They've been really cool to us so far. So thanks to Spark VR for sponsoring the 38 Robert Hill Jr. My understanding is that this deal goes into next season on this trucker. Whoa, as he slips and slides, Robert Hill Jr. out of control out of turn 2.
Oh, can he save it? He's going to spin off into the grass, come back on the surface, and that's going to be our first caution of the night.
Caution out for the spinning driver, Robert Hill Jr. There's commentator curse.
And actually, what on earth happened to everyone else here? Darbyshire, McCorkle, and Lindsay roll
Way back.
14 seconds behind. They dropped off a lot.
They certainly did. The 38 spins around. Our first caution of the night on lap number 24, slowing our progress. Let's go back and see how it happened. This was a crash long coming. He just got, we're right on board here. He was already loose through the middle of the corner.
Yeah, he's been running this high lane, I think, put a little bit too much input on the top side.
Already loose.
Yeah, gets himself loose. Did a great job saving it, though.
And Hill goes down the hill. But again, he did a good job hanging on to it for the most part. And slid off the banking. And don't think that should have damaged his splitter too much. Nice and easy transition here, off of 18 degrees.
Yeah, a great job correcting the car, spinning it back towards the middle, and keeping it off on the inside wall, and is going to be able to continue on.
Yeah, we're right on board also with Tate Lytle, who had probably a pretty good view of all this going on. Actually, I think even McEvoy had a better one. Here's his on board. Right there, you see
loose, sliding down.
Well, he did a good job not correcting back to the right too early because it would have put him in the fence. So the 38 spins out early. First pit stop's underway. I think 4 tires and fuel for everybody here.
Yeah, no, considering the drop off these guys were having, again, around a second and a half by the time they came to the pits. Quite a bit, you know, even though we had a 20-lap run. So I imagine no one's really going to try anything too crazy here. We could see some guys just try something to try to get a win, try to give themselves some track position, but you're going to be hurting in that long run pace, and I do expect a long run here to see the jacks drop.
54 is going to get a great stop, and the 26 will win the race off pit road. Sweeting, actually, Rusty Caple has stayed out on the racetrack. I'm not sure if this is for points or if he's planning on throwing something. I can't imagine you would stay out with how terrible the tires are.
I think he'd try to stay out there for points, but at this point in the season, I don't think it's going to matter a whole lot. He's 25 points behind Corey Lindsay. And yeah, here he comes down onto pit road.
Yeah, going to peel off. And again, this access road, as you see the 9 enter it, this is a requirement, green or yellow. And it is extremely challenging to do this at full speed or trying to carry as much speed as possible and not run off the course. And if you do run off the course, it's easy to pick up a penalty. The 38 has gotten a warning for the cause caution. Typical, nothing out of the ordinary there. That's a typical warning associated with the incident there.
Yeah, but if he does cause another one, he's going to be asked apart for today. So he's got to be a little bit careful and not push too far the limit. And I think that was his biggest problem. We saw good pace early on, but then just really started to fall off to the middle part of that run, and then just got to the point where the tires just were not good and just you saw him got loose on the top side.
Yeah, again, so Robert Hill Jr. spinning on lap number 24, bring out our first caution of the night. Lead changes, none so far. The 26 has been in command for every single lap of this race. Still got a long way to go, though. And we've seen the tires drop off immensely. And who do you think's the best at conserving them? Because I'd argue that season champion right here is probably the best of anybody.
I think he's probably going to end up being the best. But you never know here. Sweden's got quite a bit of pace underneath him tonight. We'll have to see how this run plays out here, if he's able to break away from the 54. I think really the best thing to do is just keep the 54 right in behind him, and or even just let him go right in front of him and try to match him. Maybe you learn a thing or two from the way the 54 is running his lines to conserve his tires.
So the 26 in control of this race. McEvoy in third after starting in third. Again, all the blue numbers And the blue splitters and blue spoilers, those are your playoff contenders. Again, the championship locked up with the 54 Gruenberg, but everybody else still competing for points and having fun out there. Dave Hunt in the 53 having a good night so far, sitting in 5th, and I expect him to maybe play a role later in the race. You see James Miller and Robert Hill Jr. coming back down pit lane.
Yeah, I think these guys just topping off on fuel. I guess might as well, they're already in towards the back.
Might as well take more tires and fill it, pack it up.
I was going to say, you have unlimited tires, so might as well take all of them.
Down into the pit box. Oh,
He missed us.
I don't know if he missed a stall or decided at the last minute he didn't want to take it, but anyway, interesting revelation there. All right, coming back to the green. Track conditions are hot and slick. We've seen drivers slipping and sliding and trying to hang on. Justin Kolb has taken his number 25 to the garage. He's done for the night. Didn't see what happened to him, but he's out and will be done.
Yeah, that brings us down to only 13 trucks out there running, all of which are on the lead lap.
It'll be a competitive night, so a long way to go. 27 of 117 here in Homestead, Miami Speedway. And beautiful day. A little humid out here as well. You can see how thick the air is. Field rolls through turns 3 and 4. A day race as well. I think we'll be running into the night tomorrow, which is going to be a totally different condition. This field rolls off of turn 4. Pace car peels off. It's going to be Chuck Sweeting on the inside in control of the race. Matt Gruenberg on the outside. Already won the championship, just here to collect more victories. Green flag back in the air. Sweeting pulls clear of the 54. Behind him, Jordan McEvoy, almost 3 wide as the 53 and 56 try to size him up, but he slots himself in, and Lytle can't split him 3 wide.
Yeah, he can't go anywhere, and Hunt's now getting a run on Lytle going into turn 3, but Lytle, I think, going to try to use that outside lane, see if it actually works here. They've gotten a chance to rubber that middle lane up, and it looks like he's starting to build up a run there.
Yeah, I think the outside lane, as I said earlier, is going to come in later in the race we go. You see the 56 now peeling off to the bottom of the racetrack. I think down in 1 and 2, you can use the bottom. 3 and 4, it's going to be a lot more challenging to make that groove work.
Yeah, you definitely want to be in the bottom in 1 and 2 more so. Although you can get some nice runs off the corner, to seeing the 21 of McEvoy trying to pull off.
Sam Close and Robert Hill Jr. side by side. Remember, Robert Hill Jr. started second in this race. He ran second for most of that first run. He's a quick driver, but getting split 3 wide on the bottom of the racetrack now. He's at the slot back in line. He's got work to do to get himself back up. And here comes Darbyshire now to the inside.
Lost a lot of momentum with the 42 in the middle of that. Had to back out of it. It's going to end up letting Darbyshire on through.
Well, look at Sam Close really trying out the high lane. I like this. He's not running very well. You might as well try something different to figure something out for later in the race. And I think wearing in that outside groove is going to be a good long-term decision for the 5.
It looks like Lytle and McEvoy are going at it for 3rd place. See Lytle rocking the inside lane now.
Yeah, and look up for the lead. Matt Gruenberg in the 54 is closing in on Chuck Sweeting as the battle for 3rd continues out into turn 1.
I think Lytle might be able to get him here. He's going to try to accelerate, get a better run through the corner, slide up in front of the 21.
Oh, he's there! He slides up, but McEvoy almost tried to cross him over on corner exit. Didn't have the run to do it, so he'll tuck back in line. Now pop out into turn 3.
Yeah, I think the inside lane not as viable in 3 and 4. You're going to see Lytle say, nope, you're going to stay down there.
He drove in deep on the door of the 56, trying to make that stick. He's there, but the 56 will have him clear again.
Got to run off the 3 and 4 much better. Again, the turns slightly different to each other on the different sides of the track. Looks perfectly symmetrical, but it definitely is not.
Yeah, this racetrack didn't used to look like this at all. It used to be a track that mirrored Indianapolis.
Yeah, I should say it was a square.
It was a square, yes. With Indianapolis-esque corners. They changed it after a couple accidents that resulted in fatalities. We also have the 54, Matt Gruenberg, warned for his internet connection as you see him popping in and out of existence there. No action yet on the 54, but I expect that to draw a penalty a little bit later.
He is really lucky that he only had that issue really starting last week. I don't really think before that it's been a huge problem.
Not as bad as this.
He got warned last week, came down pit road to let everyone by. Still got enough points to win the championship here tonight, and he doesn't have to worry a whole lot about it because he's won it regardless of what happens to him.
So Gruenberg continues to run second right now. There's Sam Close following a great battle between the 2 and the 38 out of turn 4. Gruenberg might actually not even get the penalty. He might just drop connection with how bad it is right now.
Yeah, it is really bad. It's not that Hammond's overreacting. It is pretty bad. He's flashing in and out quite a bit.
Makes it challenging for us, too, to look at him because he's popping it out of existence so much. Hit that lag switch there, make you a little faster. So I also wanted to bring your attention to the nose of the 12 car, or 12 truck rather, or Cody McCorkle. If we take a look on the right front, he's got some damage here. He's been in the fence.
Oh, he's also drifting out of turn 4.
He saves it. He's struggling for sure. Gruenberg dropped a spot with all this going on. That's let Tate Lytle get through to second. And Dave Hunt now under attack from James Miller in the 42 behind him.
Miller's starting to build up a run here, move himself back to the front. Definitely got some pace in this 42.
So the 54 has been assessed a penalty for the connection, and we'll have to drop to the end of the field here. An interesting end-of-line penalty under green. That's a new one for me, but I guess that's a fair enough penalty. Just drop to the end of the field so you're not in the way.
Whoa.
As the 42 of Miller drives right in on the quarter panel of the 53.
Yeah, you see Gruenberg pulling out here. I think. I'm not sure if he's just going to pull down on pit road.
It's just an EOL. I think the EOL just means you got to drop behind everybody on the lead lap here, and just so you're not distracting, I think is really all that means. So you might have to hit pit lane, and it looks like no, he's just going to let people by. So
I think
a strong run is going to be negated by connection issues for the 54. So whoever's watching Netflix in the house got to turn that off so they can be competitive again. Battle for 8th, Sam Close, Ausin Darbyshire trading spots, but I also want to bring your attention back up towards the front of the field because Tate Lytle has begun to reel in that 26.
And it looks like 54 is going to be the 26's issue tonight, but looking like it might be Tate Lytle who he's got to worry about a lot. Lytle looking really fast to make up quite a bit of time. Last lap through, Lytle was 0.2 faster. This time through as it come across the line, same gap pretty much, 0.2 of a second faster for the 56.
Yeah, but now with the aero wash, it's probably not going to be quite as bad as it is in the Cup cars, but it's a struggle because look at these big spoilers in the back of these trucks. They put a huge hole in the air, and that's good on the straightaways. It means the trailing drivers got less drag, but Lytle has to follow in that aero wash in turns 3 and 4 now, and it's going to be hard to get downforce on that truck.
See him running a lane lower than the 26, getting air to his nose, and has getting a little bit loose and breaks up all the way almost into the wall on the straightaway.
But he's carrying that speed down the straight, about 2 miles an hour quicker off into turn 1. He's going to dive for the inside, and he's making up time here, but he's going to look at him push wide out of turn 2.
Yeah, just trying to get out of the way of the 26, getting at least some air to him so he can have enough downforce to make it through the corner.
Pretty even at the front of the field right now between Sweeting and Lytle. McEvoy's 2 seconds back. No challenge for the leaders just yet. James Miller rides in 4th and Dave Hunt in 5th. 39 laps complete of 117 so far as the lead tightens back up again. Lytle only 0.3 back.
I'm curious here if he's going to decide this is as far as he's going to really be able to go, at least on this run. Maybe try to just follow the 26 for a little bit. Wait till pit stops, try to make a pass down on pit road.
See how carefully he's got to be on the throttle. It's like stepping on eggshells. Trying not to spin the truck out.
Yeah, and his gains have been going down pretty much to the point where it's stagnant, where he's running, hasn't been able to make any more inroads. Once he's gotten to about 0.3 of a second back, and you see him loose too, coming out of some of these corners.
Dave Hunt leading a 3-car battle for 5th, and in 6th place right now, Robert Hill Jr. in the 38. Now remember, he dropped to the back of the field after the spin, brought out our first caution about 20 laps ago. Well, he's recovering quite nicely in that 38. Still has a little ways to go, 4.6 back from the leader, but I'm liking the speed in this 38 truck.
Yeah, moving himself back up, I imagine he learned from the first run that he's been pushing the tires a little bit too much. I think he's backed off a little bit. Found a good pace that he can try to get back to the front now and also maintain his position.
Matt Gruenberg has dropped down to 9th place, trying to climb his way back forward after getting told to go to the end of the line. But Robert Hill Jr. closes in on Dave Hunt for 5th. Love this racetrack. It gives you a lot of options, a lot of places to pass. You just have to figure out how to do it, which line is best at that time. And Dave Hunt's actually going to pull over, maybe let the 38 by.
I think Hunt knows it's a little bit of a losing battle. You know, the 38 is just a little bit fast. He's going to let him use the outside lane. You got a nice run down on the straightaway. Hunt, though, trying to beat him in the mid-corner, but there you see Robert Hill get a really good run on the outside.
Yeah, he's going to use that momentum from the outside groove. Again, 2 more degrees of banking up at the top of the racetrack, 20 versus 18 on the bottom. He'll use that to drive right on by the 53, and here comes Richard Hinds. And remember, these two, the 38 and the 2 car, battling for second in points. Richard Hinds needs to outperform the 38 to even have a shot at that.
Yeah, that's going to be
getting chase.
Yeah, it's going to be really hard to do. He's going to have to hope that he makes a mistake. And that'll pretty much be the only way that they can get ahead of Robert Hill, because Hill has a lot of speed tonight.
As does Richard Hinds, where he started back in 14th. Has clawed his way back to 6th after a mid-run slide in the last run. Up front, it's still Chuck Sweeting by 0.2 of a second. Tate Lytle giving chase, but kind of stalled out behind him here.
Yeah, not a whole lot. Again, not a whole lot of place he can go. I think this is kind of as far as he can get on this run, and just gonna kind of follow in Chuck Sweeting. You can see the lead these guys have. There's first and second. Then you got McEvoy and Miller third and fourth, and most of the midfield back here.
Yeah, Sweeting, again, he's been kind of middle of the road today. Hasn't really committed to the top or the bottom in particular, just kind of the middle of the racetrack. Tate Lytle mostly following him right now. And if I'm Tate Lytle, whoa, big slide out of turn 4 for him, kicks it out sideways. I'd be interested in seeing this 56 try some different lines. You might lose some time, you might gain some time, but I don't think you're going to learn a lot following the 26. I think you got to experiment with different lanes and see which ones are faster. He's still a little slidey, especially out of turn 4. I've been watching this 56. Big slide early in the race, but he just looks unstable right now.
Yeah, it might help him too to just kind of back off maybe a little bit more and get some cleaner air, because he's starting to struggle with getting grip to his rear tires. You can see him counter steering 3 or 4 times coming out of turn 4.
Yeah, he's struggling to get the power down without spinning out. But again, I would run up against the fence. I mean, you're not going to learn anything following exactly. You're not going to beat the 26 by following his tire tracks. I'd play around a little bit. I know you're going to lose some time maybe, but you see him slide again, big time out of turn 2. Worried that he might be burning off his rear tires a little bit. Behind him, Robert Hill Jr., Richard Hinds. This is for 5th place, and Hinds giving chase in the 38. And take a look, maybe you're going to get by him here. Again, Robert Hill Jr. just came off of his first race in the Indy Elite Series, the Triptacular Memories 160 at Richmond. Didn't have a spectacular race, but totally different concept to go from racing an Indy car to short track to a stock car in a speedway like this. Very different driving styles.
Yeah, definitely. Though this seems to be suiting him a lot more. Was struggling a bit in Indy Elite, especially with the open setup too. Wasn't really able to figure out that. Hopefully he'll do better at the next solo they go to, which will be at
Kansas. Sam Close in the 5. He's trying the outside lane at least through 1 and 2, so we'll keep an eye on that. But Hinds and Robert Hill Jr. continue to run in 5th and 6th. Whoa, Hinds loses it out of turn 4. He'll collect it and continue.
Lost it trying to keep off of the 38. But now here comes Sam Close and Dave Hunt battling as they come and try to catch up to Richard Hinds.
Bottom of the racetrack now, it's just difficult to throttle your car back up on the inside groove. But he will do so, and Hunt's going to have to get out of the throttle. And look at the run the 5 car got on the back straightaway.
Yeah, that was just by him getting back on the gas a lot earlier than the 53. He's going to easily clear him as they enter turn 3.
And finally moving forward after not a great start to the race.
Now, a little bit too soon, got a little bit loose off the floor, will still keep the spot.
I just want to watch him through turns 1 and 2. Is he rolling the outside lane here? Yes, he is. Now, this is what I want to see the 56 try. Is experiment a little bit with the different lines, and let's see how much he can gain. Right now, the gap between he and Richard Hinds is a half a second. How much will he gain on the straightaway?
Doesn't look like he's gaining a whole lot, and I think that's probably why Tate Lytle isn't rolling all the way out there. I've seen a lot of these guys running more in the middle lane, and I think that's really where the speed is now. Whoa.
Actually lost a little bit out of turn 4 with that slip and slide. Up front, no changes. Chuck Sweeting continues to dominate this race right now. I just also realized that all the Chevys have had a Ford logo attached to them all day today.
Oh, you didn't?
I guess somewhere in iRacing's code, the car ID for the Silverado and the Ford Mustang must be coinciding with each other. So, oops. Driving a blue oval bow tie today is Chuck Sweeting. He's led 50 laps, all but, actually, that's every single lap since the start of the race. So Sweeting continues. How about a little bit of a fight gearing up behind these guys? Hinds and Robert Hill Jr. Hinds finally completed the pass.
And now you can see Robert Hill Jr. just trying to get back up to speed, but he's starting to, I think, reach that point in the run where he's starting to fall off a bit and drift a little bit further back.
Yeah, we've seen Robert Hill Jr. be so fast, but just burns up his stuff. He's such an aggressive driver, and some tracks it pays off, but I don't think this is going to be one of them today. What about pit stops? What time do you think they'll be coming down? 28 laps into a run? I assume we still have a little ways to go.
Yeah, I think so. I could see these guys potentially going 40, 50. After that, I think it's probably more 40, if anything, before they come on down. Now we're reaching the point where they're running about 2 seconds slower, so tires are also going to mean quite a bit.
Closing on halfway to be around lap 57, 58. Their halfway point of this one. And Tate Lytle has fallen off significantly and is about to actually get reeled back in by McEvoy, 1.8 seconds back. But Lytle was right on the tail of Chuck Sweeting, but the last couple laps has dropped off significantly and left Chuck Sweeting with a 1.6 second lead.
I think Lytle just burned up his stuff again, just charging way too hard when he was in behind, and now really paying the price for it. Oh, into the wall is Tate Lytle. Hard impact from the 56. He's going to have to come down pit road. Yeah, I think that might be terminal for him.
Yeah, that's nasty damage on the right front of this truck as he comes around the pit road entrance here. Look at the damage on the right front for Tate Lytle. And that's probably going to be the end of his night. And he's been fighting a loose condition. Sam Close actually... Oh, Sam Close spun out of turn 4 right in the middle of the racetrack. And our second caution of the night.
If I was Lytle, I would get back out there on the track. It looks like he is going to come to a stop, though.
So let's go back first and take a look at what happened to Sam Close. Then we'll look at what happened to Lytle. But I think Close is just going to get loose here. Or you see it already walking up the hill, loose, 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 tries to fight it. And does he hit the fence? Oh, yeah. Didn't hit it that hard, though. Should be able to repair that. But let's go back farther and find where the 56 of Tate Lytle got into the fence. This is a pretty nasty hit here. And just bobbled and snapped back to the right. Oh, caught the safer barrier. Big hit there. This was not a scheduled pit stop. He just smashed the wall so hard, probably thought that race was over for him. But now that the caution's out, he has some time to fix some things, so maybe all's not lost here.
Well, the problem is, I'm kind of surprised he did this. He came down and got service instead of coming back out, so he went a lap down. And so he actually can't even pit this time, so he's going to have to wait and come in next time by with Corey Lindsay.
Leaders are on pit lane. The 5 has received a warning for the caution. Again, no action on that thus far. As the field heads down to pit lane, watch Rusty Caple. I don't want to hit that tire barrier there, and Ausin Darbyshire will bring on the leaders down into pit lane, round them out. Second caution of the night. Still no lead changes. It's all been Sweeting out front in the 26. And we'll see how it cycles out. Maybe Robert Hill Jr. can... This is good for the 38. I mean, he gained a couple spots. Now he's going to get a chance to get some track position back. And no damage on this car after his early spin, so he'll get to continue and hop out of line as the 26 leaves the box. And also the 54 Gruenberg gets a new lease on life here after his internet connectivity issues have finally subsided.
Yeah, he's going to come out in 4th.
So good timing for the 54. As for...
he's starting to flash a little bit.
Rolls on out. Jordan McEvoy up a couple spots in the pits. And Robert Hill Jr. comes out in P5. We're going to jump to break momentarily. We'll be right back for the restart on lap number 60. Stay with us.
Most having a day and point B. Nothing more. It's the frustration of traffic at 8 a.m. The feeling of sickness on a long ride. The car? Just a tool. It's supposed to be practical, reliable, and fast. But the speed is really the reason cars exist, born out of a necessity to make that A to B trip just a little bit faster. Some have a deeper connection with cars, found somewhere in the bond of man and machine, a desire to be part of something bigger than yourself. It's the extension of mind and body to something more exciting than just another appliance. And these people never cared about practicality or reliability. To them, the only thing that matters is speed. We're born with a competitive nature, part of a biological necessity that is not yet worn off with time. People have raced for thousands of years, and that competition has transcended history and found its way to the industrial age. Railroads raced to build across the country, replacing the horses whose strength is still used as a benchmark for power today. And as personal vehicles became popular, the railroads died off. What once was the quickest way across the country became snail's pace in comparison. The interstate highway system expanded and cars populated every driveway. And the competition between types of transport quickly transitioned into the race to have the fastest car. Bragging rights. Manufacturers like Porsche, Ferrari, and BMW emerged in auto racing, each trying to one-up the other. Building engines became an arms race. Who could build the fastest dinosaur-powered Lindsay? So while the passion for cars has died for most, there are still people that are fascinated by racing. The sights, the sounds, the smell of burning rubber and spent race fuel lingering in the air. This is what attracts us to the sport of auto racing. We are empowered by drivers that climb in impossibly fast cars and put everything on the line for the sake of competition. Drivers who know that one slip-up can lead to disaster. And for the longest time, wishing to be a race car driver was just a childhood dream.
Coming back to the restart here, the YNZR Graphics Unreal Tour season finale, lap number 60. We're at halfway here in the final race of the season for 2019. Chuck Sweeting, Jordan McEvoy, green flag back in the air.
See, Matt Gruenberg still has not fixed his internet. He's in danger of getting pulled back.
He could get parked. I mean, if it continues to be a problem. Down the back straightaway, Dave Hunt all over the back of Richard Hinds. Chuck Sweeting is free and clear of Jordan McEvoy by a half a second through turns 3 and 4. There's a 38 Robert Hill Jr. following Gruenberg with those internet issues.
Team in front here.
This is almost certainly going to draw another penalty. Already had a warning and a penalty for it so far tonight.
Trying to get back on it, but McEvoy currently in second place, Richard Hinds in third.
And McEvoy really showing he's got some strength in this 21 left. Matt Gruenberg in the eighth spot, dropping down the order, probably been told to go to the back of the field yet again. And we'll see shortly if that has been a demand or if that was on purpose. But Chuck Sweeting continues to lead the way, and McEvoy in second. Richard Hinds up to third. How about this night on the two-car truck?
Yeah, this has been a really good recovery, and again, needs to finish ahead of Robert Hill Jr. to pass him in the points, but by a more significant margin as Robert Hill's right in behind, trying to pass on Dave Hunt now.
Look at James Miller all over the back of the 38. And Robert Hill Jr. all over the back of Dave Hunt now. So Linus Stern on the front straightaway off into one. Hill goes for the bottom. Hunt chooses the middle. They're going to come together. Hunt kind of gets spooked there and has to head up the racetrack.
Yeah, he's been struggling in some of these corners as well, Dave Hunt. You see off the corner, just couldn't get the speed that the 38 Robert Hill has. And then you see James Miller going to pull in behind the 38 of Robert Hill to the inside.
Bottom of the track. Dave Hunt going to roll the outside lane, try to build some momentum, but Robert Hill Jr. back in fourth behind him, side by side, door to door through 3 and 4.
Yeah, Miller gonna try to make the pass on the 53 as the 38 did. Dave Hunt not really putting a lot of pressure on him, and the 42 makes the pass.
Yeah, really impressed with James Miller so far tonight. A little bit of damage on that right rear if we go off with Dave Hunt's nose. He's been in defense with the right rear quarter panel a little bit. And I'm really impressed, as I said, with Richard Hinds. A good run so far in his Ausin Design sponsored number 2 Chevrolet Silverado. Running in third behind Jordan McEvoy, and we'll see if he can pick up and maybe get second place away from the 21.
Further back at Tate Lytle in 9th place. He's got the damage that he had hitting the wall, and that truck is definitely not driving the same.
That's definitely driving horribly right now. He smacked the fence. I thought he probably would have called it quits for the night. If he didn't get that caution, it would have been too many laps down. At least he gets to fight to see another day with the yellow flag, the timely caution of the 5-car, Sam Close spinning on the front straight. Rusty Caple has called it a night. He is now 6 laps down and done for the evening. Hinds closing in on McEvoy, gonna make this a fight.
Hinds out with the inside. He can take away second here. He's got enough pace. And how about it for Richard Hinds? One of the best runs I've seen out of him in a long time.
This is a good time to peak right at the end of the season. If they can just get by Chuck Sweeting, this would be a battle for the lead. Well, that's gonna be easier said than done.
Yeah, Sweeting's been the man to beat all night long. A lot of comers and goers. Gruenberg's been dealing with his internet. Tate Lytle's been dealing with handling issues. Same thing with Robert Hill Jr. They all kind of went up to the 26 and 14. Weren't able to get past him and dropped to the back of the field.
Sweeting leads the way, 0.8 of a second ahead of McEvoy. Robert Hill Jr. is trying to hold on because James Miller's geared up to get by him on the exit of 2. Look at the outside lane starting to come in. Some more drivers experimenting with the high momentum section of the racetrack.
And the 42 to the point, he almost hit the wall trying to get inside the lane between the 38 and the wall, but couldn't get it done.
You see that battle for second and the battle for fourth heating up behind him. It's pretty much spread out after that, but Hinds trying to build a run on McEvoy. Playing around with lanes, learning from the 21, but look at the gain he makes through the bottom of 1 and 2.
Taking quite a bit of time there. Hasn't really been able to get a run to make a pass, though. That being said, they aren't losing a whole lot of time to Chuck Sweeting.
No, they're pulling pretty much even with them. Last time by, all of them were on the same 1/10 of a second, 33-1 for all 3 of the leaders. I do think this 2 car is a little bit faster. He's got a lot of wheel in it, though. He might be fighting the understeer just a touch. And could be burning off those right front tire, or the right front tire on this truck, but still keeping pace with the 21 last time through.
That's for now, though. We gotta wonder if he's burning off too much stuff here. And that could potentially ruin his chance of trying to battle with the leader if he can even get by the 21 McEvoy.
Ooh, Darbyshire real slow on the straightaway. Not sure if he let the 54 by or if he got in the fence, but it doesn't look like there's any more damage to that truck.
Yeah, he's just been struggling with the 66 to Darbyshire. It's not been his year. Gonna be hoping for more next year, and I imagine he might have just let the 56 on by.
Could have been the case. Here's battle for second. Hinds on the bottom of the racetrack. Not quite close enough, but if he could just get to the quarter panel, maybe a little bit of side draft, he could work the guy over, shove him up the racetrack a little bit. I think that's all fair game. Last race of the season, you got a long off season ahead of you. Might as well do it now if you're going to do something. Give him a lot of time to think about it.
So you see the 2 of Hinds got a really good run in the middle of the corner. Behind them, the 42 and the 38 side by side. This is for 4th position.
Yeah, Miller and Robert Hill Jr. for 4th, and looks like Miller is going to complete that pass and move his way by. So Robert Hill definitely not as strong as he was prior to that first caution where he spun out. But I will tell you one thing, is McEvoy has got a mirror full of the 2.
Yeah, now McEvoy's starting to fall off quite a bit. Sweeting ran a 33.4 last time through for McEvoy with a 33.8. Starting to fall off the pace here. I think Richard Hinds is going to be the faster of these 2 cars, but just again can't get clear of the 21.
Yeah, McEvoy had to lift at the exit of 4, was bobbling the throttle a little bit. That's going to leave him exposed. Darbyshire is on pit lane. Ooh, a lot more damage on the nose that time. I think he's had an issue. And my guess is that, oh yeah, there wasn't a yellow for this, but here's a look at what happened out of turn 4 just a moment ago.
Yeah, this gets loose out of turn 4, not the third driver we saw.
Yeah, exactly like Sam Close, but a lot bigger impact that time. Outside of then gets the inside. That'll be a retirement there for Ausin Darbyshire.
Now down to 11 trucks with Corey Lindsay being the last of them. 2 laps down, 11th.
Hinds on the bottom of the racetrack trying to build a run on the 21. He's even with him through 1 and 2. Just needs a little bit more to get by and get clear.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough fighting that run on the outside, but might have had enough here. They're gonna be a drag race down the back straightaway here going to turn 3.
Again, the bottom in turn 3 is a pretty big disadvantage. Can Hinds get clear? No. And right here, that's where McEvoy's gonna make all that time back, but he overdrove it. McEvoy's way up in turns 3 and 4.
Yeah, he's a little bit too far out of the group, but it's just gonna have he actually has to back off enough. That's going to give the 2 the spot.
Yeah, too high. I mean, I think the high side is okay in 1 and 2. I don't think it's as good in 3 and 4. I don't really think anywhere. 3 and 4 is just a bad corner. It doesn't seem like you can make speed anywhere.
3 and 4, I think, is a lot less extreme. 3 and 4 want to be more towards the middle of the track. It won't be too high or too low.
Yeah, James Miller scraped the wall there out of turn 2. This race is going by pretty quick here, Finian. Lap 74 of 117. Remember, this race, 173 miles. We're definitely into the lap or the mile 100 area right now. So, looking like we're getting down to it. It's lap 75 now of 117. So, closing in on the final 30 or 40 laps of this one. Oops, sorry. Didn't mean to bump you.
It's not okay. But I imagine, too, we're going to have one more pit stop before this is all said and done for these guys.
Yeah, been out here for 18 laps. And when do you come? I mean, we've seen the tire drop-off be immense, but these are long runs, so I would say overcut strategy might be the best way to go. But what's your opinion on this?
Yeah, well, actually, let's try to figure out when they're going to come down. So they've run 18 laps. We got the restart, and I think the 58 it was?
59, I believe, was the yellow or the restart.
So, going off of that, I was about halfway. I can see them coming in 30 laps in. That'll be about halfway through this run to keep it even on the tires. And imagining it, they're going to really, really want tires.
Maybe lap about 89, 90, I believe. About 30 laps in, that sounds about right.
So I think they're going to come in about 13 or so laps time. We might see some guys stay out too, just in case a caution comes out to take advantage of that. Whoa, and speaking of which, Robert Hill Jr. sideways off of turn 4.
Yeah, I think what we're going to do is, before they come down to pit lane and start making things exciting, we're going to go to a Sim TV sound surge. We'll be right back. Lap number 80 of 117 for the final round of the season of the YNZR Graphics Unreal Tour. We started back in April. It is now November 3rd, I believe. And it's been a long year, a long season, lots of racing. But one driver dominated most of it. It was Matt Gruenberg in the 54 tonight. The world of the internet has not cooperated so kindly to him, but had speed early, dropped down to 7th with all those issues that he has had. But up towards the front, it's all Chuck Sweeting, who's been out front dominating this race, has led every lap so far.
And the funny thing, too, is the second time Matt Gruenberg is going to have to drive from the back to the front of the field. scrolling up in the middle. We'll see how high he can get. But currently looking at now James Miller and Robert Hill going at it for 4th place.
And we said that we would probably see pit stops around the halfway point of this run, which would be about 30 laps into it. So within the next 5 laps, we'll start seeing people peel off and head on down to pit lane, I would think. Especially for guys like James Miller.
Whoa.
He's in the fence and loose out of turn 2.
And that's exactly why I think we might see some guys coming soon. They might be planning on their head around halfway. They don't have to deal with these older tires for much longer, but we've definitely seen once it gets to this halfway point, around 30 laps into the run, these guys get really loose.
Yeah, Chuck Sweeting, this has been... it's been a great season of running position, but not a great season of finishes. And he's so overdue in this Mystery Motorsports truck. This is probably one of my favorite paint schemes in the entire... all of sim racing. I love this paint scheme. I think it looks really cool and fresh. I so desperately wanted to see it do burnouts, and he's only 40 laps away from doing it here tonight. So if he can just hang on, he'll be home free. No one's even getting close to him tonight.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's gotten really lucky too. Stars have aligned. His main competitors, Robert Hill's been struggling with this truck handling issues. Lytle got into the wall. He's kind of out of it with the damage he has, and then Matt Gruenberg's it's been acting up. So this is the best chance he's gotten to get a win in the truck series.
And so close to it for sure. If we go green to the end, only 19 minutes. That means this race will end on the hour at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you haven't turned back your clocks yet, it was daylight savings time switch over today. So set those clocks back an hour.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's hard for people to forget nowadays, especially considering a lot of phones. Oh, look at our phones at least once a day.
Yeah, so, the thing is that the phones reset automatically. The only thing that tipped me off was my car. When I got in to go to Walmart today, I turned on the car. I was like, hey, that doesn't look right.
Yeah, I think, you look at that, it's like, oh, that's not what it says on my microwave. And then it's like, ah.
Oh, James Miller all over the back of the 38. Sweeping across the rear bumper of the Spark VR virtual reality. Hey, there's the URL if you want to check it out. Open up another tab, sparkvirtualreality.com. As we mentioned, a virtual reality cafe. Kind of a cool business idea to give people a place to go to play virtual reality with their friends. That way you don't have to make the massive investment in equipment and technical knowledge as well. They'll take care of all that for you. Located in Connecticut, so feel free to check out their information if you're up in the northeastern area. There's a bunch of racetracks up that direction as well, so you can make a weekend out of it quickly before the race season's over.
Well, they made a place on Long Island. That'd be awesome.
Side by side for 4th place, Robert Hill, James Miller.
And Miller going yet again on the 38. Ooh, Robert Hill backing up quite a bit into the corner.
Yeah, I know that this season started off on a high and a low for Robert Hill Jr. Again, he won the Watkins Glen race, see the 42 bobble, but his father passed away unexpectedly at a young age. A week after that win at Watkins Glen, it was a heartbreaking start to the year for the 38. But this year has been a good year for him in the sim racing side of things, and he's shown that he's extremely talented. We wish him all the best through the hard times and the good times. And right now, running 5th, it's been an okay race for him. I think probably expects a little bit more out of himself, but race isn't over yet.
Yeah, it definitely isn't over yet, especially if we can play the strategy game. And as we approach halfway, who's going to be the first one to come down on pit road?
Yeah, curious about that. And if you're Chuck Sweeting, you're just trying to protect your lead now. So you're not really worried about the guys behind you. You're just thinking about the end of the race. How do I have the freshest tires? I think you just run this tank out of fuel or go a little bit later than everyone else. So that you guarantee you got the best tires later in the run. But Richard Hinds in 2nd place can pit a little early and get that lead away from you. So what's your call for the 26?
I would say honestly, just come. Honestly, I think the way he's running, I haven't really seen him make a wiggle, make a boggle, and actually, he's just going to come down. All right.
Problem solved. Lap 88, right on the money as you suggested. A couple other drivers are making the trip down. Jordan McEvoy, Matt Gruenberg. He stays out.
I did think that Sweeting was going to stay out just a little bit longer, again, because he hasn't really been struggling with his tires. He's been doing a good job saving them. I expected Hill to be one of the first drivers to come on down. We'll see if a lot of them come down next time through.
So Miller also closed big time on McEvoy. That was a very important moment for him to close on pit road entry, to be aggressive there. But Richard Hinds is the leader. He's going to peel off and head down to pit lane. And Robert Hill Jr. is going to stay out. Matt Gruenberg closing in.
That's kind of surprising, again, considering the 38's really not been the best on long run pace. Continuing to be one of the guys staying out there the longest. He's got Matt Gruenberg all over, and I definitely think Gruenberg is going to stay out here just a little bit longer as well. Gruenberg's going to try to clear him. Not quite there. He is finally clear. That was a little close out of turn 2, but
There's the 26 of Sweeting.
Here comes the 38 on down to make his stop and final stop of the race.
How aggressive will he be? Not really aggressive. I thought he'd charge us a little harder. But again, you don't want to throw your race away in this corner.
Yeah, if you practices the entry, you definitely know what the limits are. If you haven't, you're going to have to be just a little bit careful. You see him come in to pit road, come down to pit speed. Waiting now on Matt Gruenberg and Dave Hunt. I believe they're one of the few drivers remaining.
You see the 26 of Chuck Sweeting driving right around the 54. Shows you how much of a difference it is lap times wise. About 2 seconds right now is the gap. And here comes Gruenberg.
Gruenberg on down as Dave Hunt come down. I think Hunt's going to probably stay out, run the tank out. Nothing to lose for him.
Might as well hope for a yellow. Maybe someone will make a mistake and you could seal the lead away, but we've only had a couple of yellows so far, two to be exact. And so I wouldn't really bank my entire race on that.
Well, we saw, I think it was in the Cup Series, someone stay out. They ended up being the caution that they needed.
Yeah, it can happen. Richard Hinds, this is for position. Oh, I think it was, you're right.
Yeah.
Richard Hinds and James Miller fighting for 7th spot on the racetrack right now as Gruenberg comes to a stop. Tate Lytle will assume the lead if and when the 53 comes. You see the 53 on the bottom of the racetrack, and Tate Lytle will lead this time by at the line.
And Lytle's the only driver now yet to come down to pit road.
Closing moments of the season, 14 minutes left as Miller and Hinds continue to fight for 6th. And the purple 42 around the outside, purple people leader.
And also a big cloud also over the track cooling it down.
Yeah, again, we walked in tonight 112 degrees on the racetrack, down 10 degrees from earlier in the night. So the handling's certainly going to change.
More. Just went down to 101.
No surprises there. Chuck Sweeting is in a massive command of this race. He's going to have an absolutely enormous lead. And I just hope he can finish this one out because he has been flawless today.
He's got a almost 6 second lead over Jordan McEvoy once his little cycle's out. He's got Cody McCorkle behind him, but I think McCorkle still has yet to make another stop.
Yeah, that is correct. McCorkle has not come down for his final stop of the night. Neither has Tate Lytle, who is the current leader in the 56.
And, yeah, this makes perfect sense for Lytle. He's really got nothing to lose, only to gain from this. He's running part-time in this series. And really can't do a whole lot with the damage he's got, at least on pace. I think he's just going to hope for caution.
Yeah, he crashed out earlier in the wall out of turn 2. He was slipping and sliding all over the racetrack. Really had no handle on the truck. And you see him still driving the wheels off this thing. I'm excited for tomorrow to watch Tate Lytle because he's really been the best driver in the Race Kings Cup Series the last couple of weeks. Better even than Gruenberg and the 15 of Chad Frankenfield. Thank you. So I think the 56 is the favorite for tomorrow night, so we'll see how he fares.
Yeah, and going in, it's really close for so Gruenberg and Lytle are tied. Then it's Cole that's 1 point behind, and Frankenfield 4 points behind them. So we almost have a championship 4, like NASCAR's format, although it's a little bit spread out.
Yeah.
But more or less, almost any single one of those 4 drivers has a shot.
Yeah, and again, that will be tomorrow night, 9:40 p.m. At this racetrack, it'll go into the nighttime. Which actually, of the 3 races we've done at Homestead this week, it will be the only one that sees the lights come on. So it's going to be a different dynamic tomorrow than what we saw for the Outsider Racing League on Saturday night. Chuck Sweeting still in 2nd place, but closing in quickly on Tate Lytle. And not even a contest. It's 6.4 back between Sweeting and McEvoy.
Yeah, he's actually even 6 seconds behind Tate Lytle, so he's closing back down on him and just fresher tires alone.
McCorkle led by Robert Hill Jr. This is a good battle here for position for 6th. And Tate Lytle will be hitting pit lane this time by, turning the lead back over to Chuck Sweeting as these guys fight for 6th. Not how much of a fight it will be.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be much of a fight for one of the later guys to come down the pit road's got fresher tires to work with. Yeah, I think Gruenberg could have easily won this race had it not been his internet, but it's setting him back not once but twice.
So Tate Lytle drops all the way to the tail of the field with that pit stop, but it's all Chuck Sweeting out up front. 20 laps to go for Chuck Sweeting in the 26, trying to finally get a victory in the YNZR Graphics Unreal Tour after being the dominant truck in so many races this season. He has not put the truck in victory lane, and he's only 20 laps away from doing it here tonight.
And for him, he's just really just praying that a caution doesn't come out. That would ruin a lot of things. That being said, though, he is one of the more dominant cars out of everyone in the field, so it wouldn't be too hard for him to drive away. But, I mean, he's already got a 6-second lead. And, again, Gruenberg's still in the field and still kicking. So I think that would be his biggest threat, but he's back in 5th.
James Miller on the 42 has had a pretty good night. Wasn't always looking like it would be a podium, a top 3, but he has gotten himself up in there. And Jordan McEvoy riding in 2nd. Right behind the 42 is Richard Hinds in the number 2 truck, and he's on pace with, if not a touch quicker than the 42 of James Miller. So we might see a pass for 3rd here shortly. Cody McCorkle on Octate Lytle has called it a night. In his number 56.
Yeah, I think he figured, at this point, the amount of damage he has to his truck staying out there, it's
just not fun.
Yeah.
I mean, to hit the wall that early in the race and be out of it, essentially. And once he realized there was going to be no caution to help him steal one away, it looks like he's just going to pull off and park it. 18 to go now. And Hinds now starting to reel in Miller just a touch.
He's been really loving his bottom lane move. One of the guys to go down that far. Like I said, a little bit more above that white line.
Using the draft on the back straight, now diving into 3, a little bit underneath the 42. And I thought the outside lane would build up and come in a little bit later. We have seen this be a top dominant race before. Remember last season it was a lot like that for the season end. That was Johnny Thomas that took home the victory there. Ended up winning the championship for 2018. 2019, Johnny Thomas not here to compete for that championship trophy. Slip and a slide for both these trucks. Less than 9 minutes to go. Chuck Sweeting out up front. The 54 Matt Gruenberg is essentially and will officially clinch the championship just by being in this event. And we'll talk to him after the race, of course, but the battle on the racetrack has been more entertaining than the championship battle. Tomorrow night, as we said, the Race Kings Cup Series 1 far from over. The top 2 in the championship coming in tied after the penalties from last week at Richmond. That'll be a fun one tomorrow night. Hinds pushing the issue on James Miller. Slow out of 2, trying to build a run on the 42. I think this 2 car is going to finish 3rd. I think he's got the speed. Just needs the patience to get it done.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, he couldn't get 2nd here. Whoa, boy, not if he does that.
Yeah, you can tell he's pushing, though. He's got that wheel up. He's got his elbows out. He's going to try to go get this 42, but you got to keep the truck straight. We saw that bite in the 56 out of turn 2 where he smacked the fence, and that pretty much ended his day. Miller in the 42 started in 10th spot up to 3rd. It's been a good night for the Purple One Sim machine.
Yeah, again, driver has a lot of pace, but I don't think at the end here with his tires he's going to have a whole lot more to give. If anything, he's just trying to hold off that 2 behind him. But Hinds again with no clear way around the 42.
That's McEvoy right in front of him as well. Look at the run he gets to the middle of the corner. It'll be a great run off of turn 2. Can he pull even, get some side draft, and fight him down the back straight?
He's going to try to do that. It's hard to beat that run off the corner. I don't think he's going to have enough to dive it into 3. He's going to have to try to pass him on entry here, but it's not going to be enough.
42 slip mid-corner. He's going to pull even with him. Seen the bottom be actually pretty good through 3 and 4, but now the run is where James Miller is going to build it up.
And also before Matt Gruenberg going ever so closer in both these drivers' mirrors here, he's going to be a factor for this fight for 3rd place.
13 laps to go for the leader. Chuck Sweeting out up front by almost 7 seconds. And Hinds unable to complete the pass, a wiggle and a wobble by the 42.
And here comes Gruenberg, who's officially a factor in this fight. It's a 3-way fight for 3rd place. Here comes Gruenberg, going to rock it around the outside with ease.
Yeah, gonna make that look easy. Drives up around the outside, and Matt Gruenberg going to try to steal 4th place away. And maybe a little bump draft for this One Sim teammate.
To the right he gets on the straightaway, now going to look to the outside as well.
All this happening behind Jordan McEvoy, who's loving watching these guys fight so he can try to drive away, but a little worried that this 21 might be vulnerable. A little duking and diving between these 3.
Yeah, I think they both know between each other. The 54 is good, might as well fight a little bit. But Gruenberg's got fresher tires, he's going to easily get by both of them. Now set his sights on the 21. He's got 10 laps to go to try to get 2nd place, but no one's going to chase down the 26.
Yeah, all out front. 11 laps to go for Chuck Sweeting. dominant race, has led almost every single lap so far. Jordan McEvoy, no chance. Meanwhile, for third, Gruenberg and Miller are still fighting, but I think the 54 is going to have the advantage in these last couple laps.
Really, for Gruenberg, he's just going to be hoping for a caution. If he gets a caution, he can try to battle with that 26. However, it doesn't look like we're going to get it. We only got 10 guys out there on the track.
10 laps to go for Chuck Sweeting to get his first win of the season in his number 26 Mystery Motorsports machine. McEvoy over 7 seconds back. Quicker last lap, but it's not going to be anywhere close to enough.
Yeah,
Gruenberg off to third, Miller to fourth, and Hinds back to fifth.
McEvoy would need another 20, 30 laps maybe to try to catch up to Sweeting. He'd have to take out really big gains on it. But here's Hinds and Miller pretty much back where they were. Instead of fighting for third, it's now back for fourth.
The laps ticking down. The season is coming to an end. The sun setting behind the grandstands at Homestead, Miami, Florida. The YNZR Graphics Unreal Tour back in April started out with a bang at Daytona International Speedway. It concludes in Miami this afternoon with less than 5 minutes to go in the 2019 season. A chapter completed, a page turned onto 2020 as the two-car Hinds slips, as does the 42.
Yeah, the two went sliding down toward the inside wall. Conditions on different parts of the track. Hopefully they don't wreck each other.
And McEvoy now has a bumper to deal with off the 54 behind him. And Miller and Hinds continue to fight, but look at this battle for second. Gruenberg fighting back from the issues with the internet early in the night, trying to get back by teammate Jordan McEvoy.
Gruenberg's just going to have a peek out to the inside, going to have more grip to work with. Look at this run he's going to get. Will the 21 give him the lane on entry, or he's going to fight for it?
Off into turn 3, Gruenberg throws it down to the inside. He will clear the 21. McEvoy runs up the racetrack trying to build some momentum to get back by his teammate. Not going to be enough. Gruenberg up to second. Behind him, Hinds and Miller still fighting for fourth.
And Hinds is the best run he's had so far. Just going to be barely in behind the 42. Going to make a dive into turn 1. This is where he's been really good around this inside in turns 1 and 2.
On the bottom of the racetrack now is the 2. He's been trying that over and over. It has not worked, but he might be able to keep his nose alongside for the quarter panel side draft. He will not have to try it all over again.
Yeah, I imagine he's driving so close to the inside, it's going to be wearing off tires more and more, but he's been getting good runs on the 42 now and then. Like he went through that time by. But not enough for him.
5 laps to go with the line next time by for Chuck Sweeting. Winless so far this season, trying to rack one up before 2019 is said and done. He'll have one more chance to do it tomorrow night in the Cup Series race, but Matt Gruenberg 7.3 back. He has clinched the championship. He will celebrate post-race. McEvoy, Miller, Hinds, the rest of your top 5. Robert Hill Jr. started off the night on a good note, but spun out lap 24, has yet to recover. But Hinds, almost clear of this 42, continues to battle, but just not quite clear.
These guys probably going to be sick of each other after this race. They've been around each other so long, just been fighting tooth and nail, but no driver clearly the winner.
And it's just he keeps getting beat out of turn 2. Through turns 3 and 4, the 2-car gets a great run on James Miller, but can't finish the job. And look at the run. He's going to drive deep down into 3, maybe run him up the hill a little bit.
Yeah, I think if anything, if you force the 2 way up towards the wall, you can make him lose a lot of speed. Well, the 42 loose! Almost into the 2. Here comes Richard Hinds. It's one of the best runs he's had so far against James Miller.
And we saw last night in the Outsider Racing League race here at Homestead, drivers getting loose out of turn 4, causing accidents. That almost happened there again while fighting for top 5 spots. Look at the run the 2-car has. He just needs a little bit more.
Yeah, one time the 42 is good through 1 and 2, then it's the 2 that's good through 1 and 2. So
look who's coming.
Yeah.
Look who's coming. Robert Hill Jr. quickly closing, gained 3 of almost 4/10 last time by as these 2 fight in front of him. Up front, 3 laps to go for Chuck Sweeting.
42, I'm amazed at how Luke is getting out of 4 and still keeping that thing going straight. He's got to hold on for 3 more laps.
We saw the 56 of Tate Lytle struggling with issues earlier. 2 loose, ended up crashing out of turn 2. Hinds backs off, maybe try to build one last run at James Miller. Out front, Chuck Sweeting in the number 26 Mystery Motorsports truck. 2 laps to go for him to pick up his first win of the season and end the drought. for the Mystery Motorsports Silverado.
Yeah, just look at that lead he's got. It's pretty much a straightaway. Oh, Gruenberg into the wall hard!
Oh, no, and is that going to be a caution? It
No.
will not be. Matt Gruenberg crashed out of the final corner
Wow.
with 2 laps to go, and he's done for the night. Matt Gruenberg, how did this happen? Through 3 and 4, just got loose, I think, just crashed it all by himself. Oh, man.
Yeah, hard lick. That's unfortunate.
Out and done, clinched the championship, doesn't matter for Chuck Sweeting. Final corner, white flag flies for Sweeting. If he can get back around without an incident, it'll be his first win of the season at just the right time. The confidence waning at times for this driver. But today, he did such a great job leading from start to finish. Oh, look at this drop
Whoa!
on the 2. Gets turned off the nose of Robert Hill Jr. Crash on the white flag. Hinds gets turned, backs it up towards the wall in turns 1 and 2. As others approach from behind, Hinds needs to get rolling because here comes Dave Hunt. Loses all those spots, but out front, Chuck Sweeting through turns 3 and 4. The late race drama, no challenge for Sweeting. Checkered flag waves, and Sweeting ends the win the Strout at Homestead.
Yeah, fantastic job for him. Then you got to wait a little bit, and they're finally emerging out of turn 4. The battle for third not done yet. It's going to be Jordan McEvoy across the line in second, and it'll be James Miller that'll hold on to third. Robert Hill Jr. in fourth.
And Gruenberg will not be able to celebrate with burnouts as he crashed with 2 to go, but Matt Gruenberg is your 2019 YNZR Graphics Unreal Tour champion, but it ends in smoke tonight.
Well, not tire smoke, engine smoke. I want to correct that.
Checkered flag for Chuck Sweeting. And we're going to go back and look at that incident between the 38 and the 2, so don't go anywhere just yet. But Chuck Sweeting, winner, finally.
From pole position, nonetheless, it's been a dominant run for the 26. Actually, how many laps did he lose today? I think pretty much all but one, I think.
109 of 117. The rest of them were just under green flag pit stop cycles. But finally, Chuck Sweeting goes to victory lane. Dramatic end to this one. Let's go back and take a look at the incident between the 38 and the 2. And I'm sure Richard Hinds is not going to be happy with how that ended up. But let's take a quick look at how this all started here. Here's a look. Front straightaway, 2 and 38. Was there contact down the front straight that led to some frustration, or was it just, he just turned him?
Yeah. I imagine he might have been just trying to pinch him, or not pinch him, just trying to take as much of a line, get as good of a run through 1 and 2.
Yeah, but here's a look from on board the 38. I have no doubt he didn't try to do that on purpose, but
Yeah.
it looked pretty bad. Just is going to just turn Hinds and just crashes him out of a top 5 chance. Nothing Hinds did wrong there. On board with the 2. Spins around, ends up 6th tonight. But your champion has been crowned. It's Matt Gruenberg. Chuck Sweeting wins the race. Here's your race results tonight. 117 laps, 6 lead changes, 2 cautions for 8 laps, and your running order scrolling across the screen. Finally for Chuck Sweeting, Finian, how about that? It took him until the end of the season, but he finally got it done.
Yeah, definitely finally got it done. So he's going to have 1 win in both series. I mean, potentially a second one if he has as good of a run as he had here tonight. We'll have to see, though.
James Miller, top 3 in his number 42. McEvoy comes home 2nd. Robert Hill Jr. in 4th. Dave Hunt gets a solid top 5 in the 53. Matt Gruenberg winning the championship comes home 9th with a DNF. We're going to be right back to talk to your winner and your champion and more. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back live to Sim TV here now with our third place race finisher, James Miller, the number 42 One Sim Silverado. How about that for a race? A little bit of drama towards the end there, but a good run for you and a podium finish, third tonight. Your thoughts after Homestead Miami?
I was extremely lucky. There was one point I almost killed the inside wall. Not sure how I kept it off that. But we had really good long run speed, which I don't think I've ever had at Homestead. So that was really nice to have. And then it just snapped loose on me out of two, and I nosed into the wall with the right front, and that kind of, it wasn't too bad. It did knock the toe out, so I was struggling with a bit of understeer towards the end of the race there. But yeah, just kept it going straight at the end, fighting with Richard there and trying to catch Jordan, and then Matt flew past us all and decided to make an early right turn into the wall, and so we got third there, but was looking to be a good 2-3-4 for One Sim there.
Thinking back on your season as a whole, a little bit late entry, but you got to be happy with your performance in all of the series this season. And what are your plans for next season, and can we expect to see you back?
I would love to come back, for sure. Yeah, I'm super happy about this opportunity to join back, as I did half a season last year too. So if we could do a full season and hopefully have a bit more consistency, at least, well, we had pretty decent consistency throughout the truck series or truck side. You know, a couple wins there. Happy to actually have a good finish on something that wasn't dirt, although there was a lot of slipping and sliding, so I guess it's all the same. But look forward to doing well tomorrow in the Cup. Hopefully, maybe we can finally get a win in the Cup side. I think that's a bit of a long shot with the season finale, but we'll see. But yeah, it would really be nice if I could come back and do a full season next year.
James Miller, third place tonight. A great season, all summed up with a third place at Homestead. James, thanks for talking, and we'll see you again later.
Thank you, guys.
Absolutely. Move on now to Jordan McEvoy, who finished second tonight in the number 21. In the late stages there, looked like the 54 might be chasing you down. He ended up kind of eating some concrete in the mirror, but you got to be thrilled with a second place result. Walk us through your night and all of your 2019 season.
Oh yeah, the Infinite Empire Silverado was really good today. Matt was pushing super hard to try and catch Chuck, but Chuck, we just didn't have nothing for him today. I was just joking around with him in the interview saying he's got grip hacks, 10-second lead, but it was really fun. I like the slick tracks. I feel like I do pretty good on them. Didn't make any mistakes tonight. Was glad about that. Stayed focused. Didn't make any mistakes on pit road, which I'm really good at, especially here with the road that you have to take on pit road. But was able to stay consistent all night, and was able to stay ahead of Matt, which was awesome for a little bit there. But yeah, congrats to him on the championship and everything, and he had a really good season. So it was really fun. The season was good. I hope next season it goes a little better. I got in a lot of wrecks, so hopefully I can keep it off of the wall and keep out of the wrecks and run up front next year.
All right, Jordan McEvoy, second place tonight. Good job. We'll see you later. Have a good night, Jordan. Thanks for talking.
Awesome. Thank you.
Absolutely. Moving on now to who we got next here, Finney. We're going to talk to Chuck Sweeting, finally a race winner in the 3-Wide YNZR Graphics Unreal Tour. It took too long, Chuck. So many times that you were so fast and didn't get it done. But today, no question about it, leading 109 laps en route to victory. Walk us through that, and how much have you been waiting for this moment all season?
Been waiting for it, anticipating it, every week, well, except for the weeks we ran on dirt. I wasn't expecting to win on any of those, but yeah, it was a long time coming. It's nice to balance it out. At least I got a win in each series this year, so maybe we can double up on the Cup wins tomorrow night. We'll see, but yeah, it was fun. I hated that Matt was having problems, and I'm not really sure what happened with Tate. He was pretty fast for a while there, and I don't know. I just saved my tires better than them guys.
Looking back at this season, Do you look at this as a success because you ran so well, didn't necessarily get the finishes you deserve, but you got to be pretty happy with the overall performance and speed of this 26 truck week in and week out?
Yeah, I'm happy with how I've run. You know, I've had some personal issues, haven't been able to finish some races, missed a few races here and there. When I started the season out, I wasn't planning on going for the points. I just wanted to have some fun and run when I could. And I've been fast, so I've been happy about that. I've made some mistakes, pit road mistakes, and that kind of upsets me, but didn't do that tonight.
Chuck Sweeting, having fun in Victory Lane. The 26 victorious in both series. Finally gets a truck win. Chuck, congratulations. We mean it a lot, and we'll see you tomorrow night. Try to get one more. Thanks for talking.
All right, thank you.
Absolutely. Finally, last but certainly not least tonight, the driver, the number 54, Matt Gruenberg. Not exactly a nail-biter in the points, Matt, but you came home with a championship trophy. First of all, well-earned. And second of all, talk to us about your night. I know it was plagued with some trouble here and there, and ended up not really being able to celebrate with burnouts after that late race incident. But first of all, congratulations, and walk us through your night and your season.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, definitely up and down night tonight. It seemed like every time I got up to the front, the internet would put me back towards the back again. So that was kind of annoying to deal with. And then also I didn't really know when it was good to start making passes again. So I think I could have started making my way forward earlier than I did on the last run, but I'm not sure because they didn't really give me a good indication on if it was good or not. But yeah, and then we got all the way back up to second at the end, and I don't know what happened out of turn 4 there, maybe a little lapse of concentration, and just kind of hooked it into the wall. But good thing we had, the points lead that we had going in. We didn't have to worry about anybody else tonight, but tomorrow it'll be a different story. Hopefully the internet's a little bit better tomorrow. I have a technician coming out Tuesday, so just in time, right?
Well,
but yeah.
I was going to say, looking back at your season, remarkably successful on all types of racetracks. You have to look at this season as a massive success, but in terms of the Cup Series, where is your focus tomorrow night? How do you plan on attacking that race? And did you learn anything tonight that you can apply to tomorrow?
Yeah, definitely. That was one of the main reasons I stayed all the way through, was just gaining some experience on the track, just running laps. Since the Cup car has a lot more downforce, you can kind of drive it a little bit more like the truck. I'm sure it'll handle a little bit better out of the corners, but it's definitely good to get experience, even though the cars aren't exactly the same.
Matt Gruenberg, your 2019 YNZR Graphics Unreal Tour champion. Matt, congratulations. Good luck tomorrow night. We'll be rooting for you. We'll see you later.
Thank you. I'll give it my best.
Absolutely. Matt Gruenberg, your 2019 YNZR Graphics Unreal Tour champion. Been in a long night of racing, but at the end of the night, it was still the 54 on top of the championship podium. But for Chuck Sweeting finally ending a winless drought in this series, congratulations to him on his victory.
Yeah, it really was fun to see him in victory lane again. A long time coming for him, and hopefully, start to something new for him for next season in the 3-Wide Series.
Yeah, and there will be some shakeups with the 3WideRacing League. Nothing official yet to speak of, but I don't think that it's going to be exactly the same next year. So there's going to be a little bit of a change up, but there will still be 3-Wide action on Sim TV for most of, if not all of 2020. Looking forward to, again, another great season. Yes, you have an amendment to that?
Yeah, but we're not done yet, because tomorrow night.
Yes. We have tomorrow night, the Race Kings Cup Series, 9:40 p.m. The Cup Cars go in racing. 3 drivers within 4 points of each other going into the last round of the season, and that will sum up the 3WideRacing League season, started all the way back in March. So we're going to be done for the night. Tomorrow night, the Race Kings Cup Series. Then Tuesday, Mission 22 heads to Indianapolis to start the Fuel Finals. That'll be on at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Then on speed51.com/elite modified tour, Elite Racing in the Tour Modifieds from Stafford Speedway. Then Wednesday, the Washington, D.C. region SCCA with guest commentator Larry Lefty McLeod from the SCCA Runoffs joins us for their second round at the Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. That's going to do it for us tonight. We'll see you tomorrow for the Race Kings Cup Series. Thanks so much for watching. Have a good night.